Hey there, folks. So, the last episode, we finished up getting the new inventory component up and working. Well, not up and working, I should say, coded in. This episode, we're going to focus on trying to get the inventory component onto our player character and actually working. So, a couple things we need to do there. First thing, obviously, we're going to go into our player character, into both the header file. And I want to preface this. I'm doing this specifically on the player character first, not the character base, because I'm actually thinking I may end up having to redo a lot of this because of things like NPCs. Humanoid NPCs are going to need equipment slots, but animals aren't. Things like that. So right now, just for the purpose of sorting out the inventory component, we're going to work on the player character. So what we are going to do here is I'm just going to go up here into our inventory component and grab the actual class name. And on our player character, we're just going to add that to our forward declarations. Going to copy. Do we have an edit anywhere? Edit defaults only. No, we don't. So I'm just going to copy this top one, the rotator properties. Instead of visible anywhere, it's going to be edit defaults only. And this is going to be the U inventory component we just added. Now, one thing I want to point out, inventory, is you don't have to do this declaration up here. You could just down here, like we've done in other ones, put at the front class. So now that we've got that, we obviously need to go over to our source file for the player character, and in a constructor add this in. And we'll put this down the bottom here. Equals. Nope, we need to include the header first. So inventory component source, I'm just going to copy that include. And using my normal methodology, it's not going to be the very bottom one. I want to keep TF utilities and logger at the bottom. But now that's there, we can go down, equals create default. I'm going to copy this from up here. And yes, this episode is going to have a lot of copy pasting in there, just simply because I don't want to get naming conventions wrong. Text player inventory. Now that we've got this in place, it is the most basic thing currently. We're going to do a build, and we're going to hop in and make sure this shows up on the player character. So I'm going to pause the video, and I will be back once we are in the editor, or if there's a build error. Alright, so we did actually have a build error. Looks like I have a typo in my inventory component. So this one, pretty obvious. I've got an equals instead of a equal. And what am I missing? 126. Oh, and I have a semicolon where I don't need it. So this goes back to where I've mentioned it a few times throughout the series. As a developer, you're going to make some pretty silly mistakes, like the two I just made there. So let's start the build again while I talk. With that, don't beat yourself up over it. It's not the end of the world. Yes, I ran a build. It took a few minutes and then went, oh, well, it didn't take a few minutes. It was actually pretty quick. Ran a build and it went, oh, by the way, you made these two mistakes. It happens. Deal with it. Move on. And by deal with it, I mean fix the mistake. Got rid of my semicolon, got rid of my double equals when I was only intended one. I was trying to do a comparison instead of an assignment. Those sort of mistakes are going to happen periodically as you go through. And it has to open up in a different window, of course. With that, don't let it get to you. You make mistakes, it happens, fix them, move on. But anyways, instead of me repeating the same thing multiple times over, here you can see our build this time has succeeded. So I'm going to again pause the video. Now we'll be back once we are in the editor. Alright, so we are back in the editor here. So first thing we want to do is make sure our player character has this new inventory. So we're going to open up our player character. Alright, there we go. So we do have some compilation errors, and that is expected. You can see here it's throwing some errors, and that's because our inventory. So I'm going to break this out. It's going to delete it. Is there any other errors? Should fix the error. Yeah, okay. So now we've got that though. You can see over on our left, and here I am pointing at the screen like you guys can see me, we have our new inventory. In here it's got some basics. It's got max slots, contents decays, decay amount per tick, and content decay interval. It's all the stuff we added in there. So now we do need to do a couple of other things before we can actually fully get this working. The first one being is we need to look at creating some new items. So we're going to go back to our content browser, project, blueprints, items. I'm going to create a folder here and call it new items. Oh, can't contain a space. Keep forgetting that. Open that up. And then if we take a quick new blueprint class, sorry, right click new blueprint class, or my dogs are being annoying, so we're going to just search item. And you can see TFN item data. We're going to just go BP item 01. We're just going to take a look at this. So open that up. It goes to our other screen here. And you can see it's a base data class. Compile and save that. Item name, description, item type, slot, max stack size, its icon, consumption effect. As I said, that's still a string. If it's two-handed, max durability, on destruction replacement, has item decay. If we do that, it's going to want a item. And that might not be able to do this. Let me just check and make sure you're selected. Go back to our blueprint here. I think I've got the wrong version there, but quantity. Because nothing's showing up here, and you would think something where we'd have item 1 in there. But anyway, so we've got our basic item here. So we're going to set that up. Now, the next thing we need is world pickup. So we go back to our C++ portion. Fall, public, new inventory. I'm going to right click, new class, actor. Actually, I want to check something. How did I do this before? Base classes. Was it world pickup item? Pickup actor base. And its parent is TF actor. All right. Well, we're going to do this in new inventory. Do the same thing there. Well, why are we using TF actor? So let's take a look. Now the reason for this is both A, I'm forgetting, and B, I want to cover. So the reason we are using TF actor is because this base actor class that we have set up implements our save actor interface, and that's the whole reason. So That's why we want to use TF actor. So we're going to select TF actor, next. TF world pickup actor. We're going to create that class. And this one is going to be pretty simple. Going to run through and pretty much copy over everything we have from our pickup actor base. So while we're waiting, we're going to take a quick look at pickup actor base. So we've got our physics handle, well, our constructor, our timer handle for our physics timer. Sorry, my brain is not working. A rough time for how long physics should apply. A static mesh component. How many of the items we want it to contain. And the type of item that it contains. Now you can see here class T subclass of uItem base. And if we look at our item data, we have F decay replacement. If we look at that, it's just a pointer to the item. Oh, it's asking us to reload. So I'm going to hit reload. Apparently it's bugged out. Oh, I really don't know what's up with my Visual Studio install. Alright, so I've restarted my computer now and hopefully everything's working there. Doing that though, I did realize one thing. We don't need a new world pickup actor. We can actually modify our existing one. So to do that, what we're going to do here is include, if I could type that. Did I start a build? Yes, I did. Apparently I hit a button. Include, that is a new inventory slash, nope, I gotta go. Inventory item data. And here where we've got T subclass of, I'm going to uncomment this. And then we want to use UTFN new, TFN item data. And this just means we don't need to completely redo our pickup actor because, again, we were doing this modularly. We're making this as modular as possible. So in here, we want to fix that here as well. It's not uItem base. And in here, this is, I was also doing some digging. This needs to be T subclass of. To have the brain not working. To have this set up the way it needs to be so that we can add the items within our data structure. All right, so I'm just looking at time here. We're about 15 minutes in total. But anyway, so going back to our pickup actor base. Now, there is a couple of things we're going to need to fix in our actual code. So, in here, I'm going to uncomment all of this, and we're going to get some errors. Potentially. Yeah. Okay, so, inventory. This is where things are going to start breaking. Because we are trying to add stuff in. we don't want U inventory component. We want this one here, UTFN inventory component. I'm going to throw this in, and we're going to get a bunch of errors because we got the wrong one here, the wrong include. So I'm going to do this the easy way. Throw that in there, which means I shouldn't need that. Yeah. Now, we have another issue here, and we're going to go through, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this part out. Well, caller is our TF character. So we've got a bit of an issue here. TF character and our, we never added it to TF character. We added it to player character. And this is the downside of me having not worked on this in a while and doing a lot of this off the cuff, so to speak, with just some notes. My initial method of adding it to the player character isn't going to work. So we're going to have to fix that. Move this from the player character to the TF character. Okay, so player character, cut you out. TF character, where's our, we're going to add you in here and get rid of you. And then from that, we can also get rid of this here. We don't need that. Yeah, it's complaining about generated body. That's fine. So down here, I'm going to cut you out. TF character. That really needs to be protected. So, but anyways, we'll fix that. Fix you, and we need that include. And then down here, where is our get inventory? I wonder what I did there. Oh no, that was the code change. So when you're cleaning this up, so go to this, and what did we call you? New inventory. All right, so we fixed that up. I'm going to close out of our character and our player character files here for ease. New inventory component. So pick up actor base. So let's go down to where we were. Okay, so let's uncomment this. Okay, so we don't have add item to top. We actually don't have half of this stuff. So it's going to be inventory. And what did we call that now? Inventory component, add item. Okay, so now what we need here, pick up actor base, we need to include inventory item and item count. Oh, and what are you complaining about there? that's what we need. Nope. What was that class? No. Oh, what did I... Yeah, again, this is where my notes don't exactly help. Or is that... No, that add item needs to be a subclass. That's what it is. Inventory component. That is... Copy this. I believe that's what it needs to be. We can get rid of class. It's going to be item. Copy this. And we need to go to the source file and fix these. And it's probably going to, yeah. Create a bunch of, oh. I'm trying to think how to do this. So no, it's not sub, yeah. I'm trying to remember how. Cast UTF-N. Is this how? Because it's a reference we actually want to pass in remaining. We don't need that. I believe that's actually the fix there. Other than this one here. So let's... Oh, what did we change that to? What is this? Yeah. We don't need the class in here. Oh, and we don't have pickup text, do we, on that? Item name. All right. Honestly, I don't even know if this is going to work. So I'm going to run a build. We'll either be back with a build error or in the engine. So I will be right back. All right, so there was one build error. I thought I had unpaused the video, but obviously I hadn't. In here, in our decay items, it was still replacement.replacement here in the add item. what we needed to add into that was the .get default object, which, in doing that, made me go inventory item .get default object. We don't need that. And again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Sometimes you're going to forget and do some silly mistakes. Like this get default object, I completely spaced on that. So now that's in place, we're going to do another quick build. I'm going to actually let this one run. And then from here, you can see we have a successful build. So I'm going to pause the video again, and we'll be back once we're in the editor, and we'll see how things are working out here. All right, so we're back in the editor here. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to check to make sure we fixed that replacement item logic. So let's go through here, replacement. There you go. You can see that has now fixed that. So we're good there. Now, the next thing I want to do is, where's our world pickup? Oh, and sorry, I haven't mentioned this in a previous episode, but one of the things that was suggested in a comment was to get rid of the volumetric clouds. It helps reduce the lag that you see in the editor. I removed that, and I actually noticed a big difference. So anyway, so we've got our pickup actor here. It's actually our BP mouse. So we're going to open this up. Where is it? Edit, open blueprint editor. I thought you could just double check. Inventory item. Open full blueprint editor. So you can see here, it's got a bad reference. We're going to put BP item 1 in there, though, and we're going to compile and save this. We're going to play quickly. And you can see that latency. It sort of caught that in midair, but here's going to go character. And do we have our new inventory component on here? We should. New inventory. Contents is currently 0. I'm going to walk up to this, and you can see we have massive issues with our character because we don't have any of the other slots now. Oh, and what just broke? Or is that a breakpoint I had? I was troubleshooting some interaction issues here, so this could be what that is. Now, just for the interest of the video, as you can see, Microsoft Visual Studio is busy. In the interest of the length of the video, I may actually just cut all of this out. But if not, yeah, so I was debugging some of the line trace stuff here. So I'm going to hit continue. Okay, we're in there. We're going to go forward. Oh. Oh, we disconnected our interaction, didn't we? Set up player input. No, we didn't. Interact action. Okay. Or have we not hooked this up? Would we on interact? On interact. Okay, let's put a breakpoint there and we'll try this again. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Execute interacts. That should be going to a pickup actor base. Oh, I left that in. Oh, silly me. All right, so what I'm going to do quickly here is I'm going to fix this. I'm going to hop back into the editor. So going back quickly while this shuts down, this is, again, one of those really silly mistakes. You're going to do things, in this case, I commented out or threw in a return because there was no interact implementation. And, well, I didn't want to have an interact implementation. What's that? Nothing I'm worried about. Which subsequently broke things. Well, it didn't really break things. It stopped things from working. So, anyways, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video because we're hitting, 45 minutes now, or coming close to. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to get everything redone in the editor because I realized I didn't save those changes, or all of those changes. And we'll be back quickly to test this out before we end things off. Alright, so we are back in the editor and I've cleaned everything up. Let's give this a shot and hopefully this is going to work for us this time. The mouse head has actually dropped to the bottom because there's no lag this time. Now the lag shows up here. Where's our inventory? New inventory. Okay, you can see we got nothing in there. Let's go through. I really need to fix this character. Pick up. Let's pick it up. Okay, block character input. That's fine. It's actually the execute interact is the next thing. So when Visual Studio stops lagging out. All right, there we go. So we have Visual Studio working. Go to our pickup actor base and we're going to throw that breakpoint back in. Hit continue. There we go. If it's okay, so we're now hanging up on the Git inventory. Oh, let's see. There we go. Item count is 1, remains is 1. Okay, let's go into this with F11. Shift F11 to step back. F11 again. Shift F11. Are you going to step into the inventory component? Shift F11. Okay, I'm just going to go into the inventory component and throw a breakpoint in there. And hit continue. Okay, so it's valid. The amount is 1. Okay. Nothing in contents while amount is greater than 0. Amount to add equals, this should be 1. New item. Amount minus equals amount to add. Contents.num is max slot. Okay, return amount is equal to 0, so that should be true. So this remains is now 0, so it should be destroyed. Okay, so let's click continue. And you can see we now have one BP item 01 in our content. Current quality is 1. Current durability is 96. It is set to tick. Contents decay. So everything in there is set up. So that is working. Now, there is a couple more things I want to do with the inventory system. As I've mentioned before, I want to not only have stack or slots, I also want to have a weight. But unlike previously, what I want is if you go over your carry weight, it's going to have like a diminishing returns on your speed and some other stuff. That's something I'm going to add in later on. I know I mentioned that when we started working on this, that was going to be slots and weight. Don't worry for anyone who was hoping for weight. It is going to come. It's just going to be a little further down the line. Now, as I mentioned, this is where I'm going to end things off this episode. We're actually hitting closer to 45 minutes. What are we at? 30, all but 40 minutes now, sorry. But anyways, so I'm going to end things off here. Next episode, I'm going to start work on the equipment. Actually, it might not be the equipment. Because as I mentioned at the start, I need to figure out how I'm going to be redoing the character class tree. And I think what I'm going to be doing is there's going to be the character base. And this, I'm right now, don't hold me to any of this. This is just sort of a spitball, off the cuff brainstorm. We have our character base. This is every type of AI or player character. It's going to have a stat line. It's going to have an inventory. Now, the inventory is going to be if it has, like, it's a humanoid human character. Obviously, it's going to have contents for things like deer, bear, stuff like that. The inventory is going to be empty until you do something like skin it, or like you're processing the animal after it's dead, and then the items would get added to the inventory from there. So I think what I'm actually probably going to do is next episode is going to be the overhaul of the character class tree, because there's going to be things like we'll have our character base, our humanoid character base, and then our non-humanoid character base, and things will branch off from those. But anyways, folks, as I said, I'm going to end things off here. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Or you can hop over onto the Discord server. There should be a link in the description of the video. If there isn't, then there is one in the about information of the channel. I do respond on Discord a lot better than I do on YouTube. YouTube comment notifications are just abysmal. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.